The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that the credence of our lives is not going to be determined anymore by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. And to borrow Bernard Shaw's words, most men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that are not and ask why not. My name is Christopher Lubogo. I'm a legal scholar. I engage in a lot of jurisprudence in terms of law, so that's the reason why you're listening to me. Now, I would like to introduce to you some of the works that the hand of God has enabled us to do. And where do we find them? You simply go to lubogo.org or suegenerislawapp.com. We started with what we call Sue Generis Law App, which is simply go to Sue Generis Law App on Play Store, and you can upload it and get back down on your finger in terms of your phone. And also, you can also find it, for those of you who are using iOS, you simply go to suegenerislawapp.com and you're there. You'll be home and dry. The second other we did was called a treatise to my learned friend, the attorney at law, where we talk about how we give advice to thriving or those who want to become lawyers, mindful of the fact that Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, widely regarded as one of the legal realists, said that wanting to become a lawyer is burning in fire. So you're going to find some of these components in here. Then we went to what we call the History of Osuga, where we're arguing in terms of fine pencils in God's hands. In this book, this is a book that's about 100 years old. It was written by the great Christopher Lubogo, and I actually brought it back into circulation because it was listed as an endangered book. And I make some important allusions in it in terms of what Osuga is and what the fine people of Osuga are in terms of their origin, in terms of their stature, in terms of their functionality, if you like. Okay, then we have what we call these audiobooks, because I reduced them into audios. So we have the law in terms of attorney, reduced in audiobooks, so you easily find them, you simply find them, and then you listen to them. So these are audiobooks. Then we've also got again the History of Osuga in terms of the audiobook, where again you simply put in your gadgets and listen. Then we went to this other project called Ubuntu Bulamanda Law, where we're arguing in terms of the application of Ubuntu Bulamanda Law in terms of African jurisprudence. And if you like, this book is dedicated to what they call Vox Populi, Vox Dei, where we're arguing that the voice of the people is the voice of God. You find it at lubogo.org or suegenerislawapp.com. Then we went to this wonderful book which we call Intelligent Design and the African Ontological Epistemological Aesthetics, which is a legal philosophical discourse of the argument whether or not Africa had a God. So the argument here is to try to discover, go back and find out, did Africa have a God, or was this God imposed upon us? So I actually argue in terms of the convergence of religions rather than the divergence. Finally, my friends, then we went to freedom through law. This argument of the ideology that law is an us, as expounded by Charles Dickens, and of course the quotations that keep disturbing lawyers by this gentleman, William Shakespeare, who said that the first thing we do, let's kill all lawyers, because the argument that the law became a dogma. So here I try to demystify that component and argue in terms of what we call legal realism, so that we try to appreciate the law as it is. In other words, the law should resonate with a changing society. That's the argument I make in this law. And then we have this norm here. This norm is called the executive constitutional mandate, demystifying the founding of honor, presidential power overreach in Uganda. The argument here is that to make a lot of jurisprudence as far as constitutionalism is concerned in Uganda. I integrate it with a lot of the major constitutional challenges that this country has faced and where we are even at present. I argue from back to the present situation. So you're going to see novel issues in here. You're going to see fresh ideas here. So I urge you to look at it. They're readily available again, as I said. Then we went to the law of forensic, a proof beyond the shadow of doubt, where we argue in terms of this is an answer to some of the unanswered questions of so many debacles or enigmas or challenges that this country has gone through in terms of unanswered questions of motorbike mafia-like style killings, poison killings, and the likes. You're going to find procedural law, medical in terms of appreciating forensics here, DNA and the likes. Okay. Then we went to demystifying the order from above, which is the argument of the people versus the Attorney General. In this book, you're going to find interesting arguments where we demystify that component of the order from above. Many times we see people who are arrested and say order from above. What does that mean? What is the constitutionality of it? What are the procedures in terms of that? This is an answer to that. In fact, in this book, I also make arguments in terms of what they call the posse comitatus, the argument of whether or not the military, for example, can enforce civilian rules. Okay, so this is important in terms of that. And then when we come to the law of phenology, which is probably the project that we're handling on right now, it's I make a quotation in terms of I can't breathe, a legal philosophical appraisal of the need to amend the law. The argument here, I make a proper exegesis of what they call the Miranda rule, for example, a right to remain silent. This argument when they arrest you, what are the procedures of arrest? Where the ideology of take off your shoes or cut off your hair or behave this way, and constitutionality of the more than 48-hour detention and stuff like that. So this is argued in terms of that. What is the law? What is your, the premise of the law? So I also make arguments in terms of freeing the individual for purposes of equipping them with the concept of the law. So these are some of the works that the hand of God has been kind. And please find them at lubogo.org or Sui Generis Law App or some of the major bookstores in this country. So God bless you and thank you for your attention.